Yeah, we got back maybe 10:30 at night on Sunday. It was a long travel day back from Michigan, so just nice to get back and kind of get settled in, and for the guys probably to sleep in their own beds a little bit. So, but it's good to be on the road too. I think it's. I mean, ideally you want a little bit of time on the road and then time at home, and time on the road, time at home. We've been on the road a lot at the start of the year, so I think anytime you get settled in and kind of get back where you're familiar with stuff away from the rink too is always nice feeling to catch up. So guys are excited. We didn't practice yesterday. It was a day completely away from the rink for the players after getting home at 10:30 at night the night before. So I think it'll be nice. Everybody will be recharged and had a good day of rest and be ready to go for 3 good practices before Friday's game.
Anything that stood out to you for the first 2 weeks of conference play now that you're, I guess, stepping back out of it here for a short time? Are there any bullet points that you had that you wanted to share with the guys? Or I guess what was the takeaway from those 2 opening series on the road?
I think, again, it just confirms the strength of our conference and the level of competition that you'll see on a nightly basis in our conference. I mean, you know it going in there, but when you see the talent that you're going to play on a nightly basis and how structured teams are and how they execute on a daily basis, it just kind of confirms what you know you're up against in this conference. So I think from that standpoint, it's good. I think it's good for us to know what we're facing, and yeah.
I asked you about this a little bit on Saturday night. Just with things going forward, you kind of have what you have roster wise. Are there things that you feel like you can do as a staff to fix things or to at least improve in areas and things like that? I guess the thing that stands out is just the number of goals you've given up recently. And overall, I think there's only like 3 in the country that are behind you now in goals against.
Yeah.
Are those things that things can be done to address, or is it just guys needing to rise to the occasion?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you have the personnel you have. I think as a coach, you never, it's easy to get caught into like, oh, I wish I had this guy or that guy, or I wish I had that player. And I think that's an excuse for coaches can use, So our job is to get these guys better. And so what we always do is we look at every goal against. So we take it as a staff and we dissect every goal against, and you kind of categorize them into an A goal, a B goal, or a C goal against, and then you start to look for patterns, So sometimes, where it might be a defensive zone breakdown, or sometimes it's an individual that has to be better, or sometimes the other team executed a play extremely well. So I think when you do that, that gives you a more real sense on what's going on, so you don't get too high or too low, and you can address what needs to be addressed. So we do that internally. And there's stuff that we have to do better as a team. There's stuff that individuals have to be better at. There's stuff that you got to do better as a staff. So I think that's always a good way to go about it. So it's not like, we'll get them next time. There's stuff that you have to address and you have to work on, and so there's a few things that both team and individually we gotta work on to help us get better.
Yeah, I know you said that most of those things are internally, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at our games the last little bit and you look at, we're not converting on our A chances, and I would say other teams are converting on maybe some B or C chances too, So you got to look at that a little bit as a team. So how do you improve so you first off, you got to capitalize on your A chances. I mean, we had 3 or 4 2-on-1s and didn't score, and some empty nets, and we didn't put the puck in the net, and then vice versa. They're getting some opportunistic goals maybe that usually wouldn't result in goals. So you got to account all that, and then you got to figure out ways to get better as a team and as individuals, and that's the staff's job to help our players make sure we're working towards getting better.
I think it's kind of shake things up with Chris and Rolly the other night. Is that still a competition at this point, just considering how things are going back there, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I think at this level, it's a highly competitive level, and just the thing with the goaltending situation, if they're struggling, it's that much more like a quarterback almost, right? You know, there's fortunately if you're a forward and you turn the puck over a few times, nobody might even know about it. You're a D-man, well then maybe somebody knows about it. You're a goalie, it's that much more brought to light. So it's a competition. I mean, we talk about it all the time in our environment. It's we want a competitive environment, and we also want to cooperate and be good teammates. So right now, you know, there's obviously not a clear-cut number one, and we need one of those guys to step up and to, you know, compete like some of the other goalies in the league are competing, kind of thing, you know, for jobs, and that starts in practice. And the great thing is they're both excellent young men, and they're going to work hard. And Pete Menino was on the road for 14 days recruiting, because obviously that's an area we have to address with recruiting wise, and so it's nice now that he's back that the goalies have a coach with them, kind of thing, where they'll be able to be on the ice for 45 minutes before practice even starts with him to continue to work on their game. And it's just something that again has to be at this level, has to be strong to have a chance at success. Yeah.
So just to clarify, so he hasn't been around them the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, correct. He's been on the road.
Normally he would be working with them.
Yeah. You know, when you only have 3 coaches on your staff, and with you know, with the recruiting needs we need to address with the program in the media, especially in the next 1 or 2 years. I mean, he's on the road a lot, you know. So it's that balance between the current team now and then, but you know, you look at next year and the year after that, we need to have some help recruiting wise. So it's he's been a busy guy, just like all of us, for sure.
What the other chances that you were talking about, you know, not being able to convert on the 8 chances yourself, when you're a coach and you see those things, you get the opportunities, does that, I guess, lighten the burden of having a stretch where you go almost 2 full games without a goal, knowing that, hey, at least we're getting chances here, we're just not putting them away? Or does it still become, I guess, a bit of a concern because, you know, hey, time's rolling on here and we're just not finding goals? I mean, I think you said it the other day, it's like, you know, we played, you know, almost 60 minutes twice without getting one.
Yeah, you know, I think a little bit you got to believe in the statistics of that a little bit too, right? You know, I mean, there's going to be times where goal scorers don't score goals, and again, it comes back to, if you look at the league and you look at every team's got, you know, 1 or 2 top lines that are producing a lot of offense for each team. Like if you look at CC or Denver or Western, right? I mean, their top guys have got over a point a game, right? And we're going to be a team that has to play as a team. You know, so we have to figure out a way to defend properly and then also score goals, where you're kind of scoring goals by committee a little bit too, where right now we're not having a guy go end to end and just score a goal for us, kind of thing, right? So we got to figure ways to do that as a team and produce as a team, and so that's something we got to continue to work on. But, you know, when we're shooting at we're scoring 1 out of every 15 shots, and other teams are scoring 1 out of every 8 or 9 shots. You know, that the math doesn't fare like it will stay like that forever, right? Our goalies are going to get better, and we're going to start scoring some goals too. So for me, again, that's why you got to dissect the game down, and you got to look at what are your chances for, like how many grade A chances do you have a night, and if you're creating 0 of them, then there's an issue. You know, if you're creating some and just not capitalizing, okay, well then we got to continue to work on our habits. So I think the biggest thing is it's not easy, and the good thing about some adversity is I believe it's character building. You know, for both our staff and players, you gotta face the adversity head on. If you're not scoring goals, you got to keep with the process. If you're, you got to keep working, and that's everybody. And so I think we got to maintain on that focus. We got to realize what we got to get better at. We got to keep working at it. You got to show up ready to work, and you got to believe, and you got to honor the process too. You know, there's no magic switch you flip on and that just allows you to stop every puck or allows you to score every goal. You got to work at it, and that's what we got to get focused on this week.
Any thoughts early here in the week on your opponent this week? And is it good, I guess, that, you know, they're having a decent start? So
yeah.
Feel like you're stepping out of conference and like, oh, hey, they got an easier one.
Yeah, I think it was Sam saying or something that 30 of our games are against ranked opponents. You know, so I think that's the real world, you know, that we live in, and And it's great though. I mean, it's as much as it's tough. I mean, you know that every game we're going to be in a battle. And again, now Northern's, I think they're ranked in the pairwise now, and so it's another tough opponent. Just watching them a little bit. You know, they really well structured team. You know, they play as 5 men. Their D-men are very active. They outnumber down low on the puck. You know, they're doing a lot of good things that you see other good teams doing. So again, you know, we have to have a game plan against these guys and get ready to execute it at a high level. And really, you know, I thought our effort was really high on Saturday. I thought that first period on Saturday was almost maybe the best we've looked all year. Even Andy Murray after man, you guys came out hard. You know, you guys were competing hard, and we just got to keep that effort level coming. But we have to find ways to get a little bit heavier on our sticks and a little bit more competitive in tight. You know, for me, if you look at that Wade Allison, who had, I don't know, 5 or 6 points against us this weekend, he's a skilled player, but look how heavy he is on a stick. You know, he's in the slot and he's getting covered and he's still getting shots off because he's heavy on a stick. So I think that's something that we can learn as our players too, is that, you know, you can have the skill, but in this conference, if you have some skill and you don't have that heaviness or that high compete on a daily basis, your opportunities just aren't going to come because it's such a tight checking league and guys are so good to play against. So again, we just have to keep working with our guys to be a little bit heavier, a little bit harder on their sticks, and that should lead to more opportunities.
I didn't realize this until after the game, or if I knew and I had forgotten that he'd actually played here, you know, pre-juniors, same team with the Frank kid.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, juniors have nothing to do with it, but is that, do you have any thoughts on that, or does that get to you at all to know that, like, there are kids that are now playing against you in this league that were playing here before they ever went to juniors in this city, and they're now having a big weekend or getting a goal against you?
Oh yeah, I think it'd be, you know, I think you start worrying about all that stuff, you'd be worrying about a lot of things, you know. So for us, that's, you know, that's in the past, that's done with. But it goes to show, you know, I think those kids were both committed at 16 years old, right? So, you know, it goes to show why Pete's on the road for 14 days. If we want to have a chance to be competitive in this conference, we're recruiting kids that are 4 years away. That we've got some big time recruits, but they're not coming. So then, you know, sort of the immediate intern, you got to try to find those late bloomers, or, you know, you're with 60 other teams trying to find the guys that were passed over who aren't passed over very often, right? So it's you know, that's why recruiting is so important, and that's why your staff has to be relentless at working at it. And because, like you said, I mean, those guys are gone. They're gone at 16. So it's and they're obviously if you look at our league right now, with how strong our league is, those are the impact players, right? The Allisons are the impact players. You know, those are the guys that are producing, you know, well over a point a game for their teams on a nightly basis. So yeah, it's you know, I mean, it is what it is. We didn't get them, and they're not here, and we got the guys here who I love, our players, and we're going to work with those guys. Yep.
You look at the ratings that just came out, Big Three, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Western's in there.
Yeah.
Are you a little surprised at how fast they come out of the gate this year after playing them last week? Yeah,
I mean, you talk about systems and structure. There's probably no coach in the game that's more structured than Andy Murray on a systematical approach. I mean, they know what they're doing out there. They're all in the right spot. They're very, very structured, very, very systematic team. You know, you catch a bit of their pregame skate and stuff like that. You can tell they're well organized out there. And then for me, this is probably the fastest they've looked and more skilled they looked as with the individual talent now they have on their team. So you combine the both of those, and they're going to be hard to play against, as Denver found out getting swept by them, and as we found out playing against them twice this weekend. So I'm not really surprised. You know, I think anytime a team has that type of structure in place, and they've been doing it for a long time, and then you combine that with the talent that they have, they're going to be a tough team to play against. So, you know, it's good. It's what you got to. I mean, what we're facing on a nightly basis in this conference. So we got to learn from it and grow from it, and also take some pages out of what they're doing too. You know, this is what they're doing. This is why they're successful, and we're trying to do a lot of the same stuff. So. It's you know, you can see how playing that way, playing that style of game is effective, and so I think that's one of the best I've seen them look. And I also think you got to, take into consideration their rink too, so I think Tony and I were talking about the other day. I mean, we've played in 3 different rinks. So Notre Dame was wide, Colorado was really big, and then Western Michigan is an extremely small end zone and a really big neutral zone. And then you come back to our rink and it's completely different from those 3. So that's one of the unique things. I was talking to the commissioner about it with NCH. That's one of the unique things in college hockey is that you're constantly kind of adapting to different rinks. And what I found is each home team has done a very good job at structurally and systematically designing their play around their rink. I'm not sure what their home record is or their away record is, Western, but they really do a lot of good things in the neutral zone to take advantage of that neutral zone play. And I thought we were better against it on Saturday night after adjusting to it a little bit. So, and same with Notre Dame. I thought they played well with that 5 feet. And then CC, I mean, when I was shaking hands with CC after the game, I'm probably taller than everybody on the team, but they recruited a lot of small, fast skaters, which is pretty effective on a huge ice surface like that. So you're seeing the coaching staff do a good job with kind of more of a special rink, where ours is a traditional NHL size arena kind of thing, So that's something that we got to work on too when we're home, is to utilize our rink maybe to our advantage and as much as we can. But with those kind of unique one-off rinks, it's a little bit more challenging for our guys to adapt to different structure, and it's something that as a staff we have to do a good job preparing our guys for that, and also making notes of when we play them again, if we go back to that rink, what we need to do preparing them before we get there to help our guys out.
Yeah, 2 weeks off in a row in December, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Being home, I know, is a big thing.
Yeah. I think it is what it is. I think it is. The schedule is what the schedule is. I just think it's just time wasted trying to think if it would have been, nice to be home and then on the road and home and then on the road. And I mean, everybody has an ideal situation. Life often isn't ideal. And so it's how you react to it. And so I think it is what it is. And we don't have a victim mindset around here. We have a mindset where we're going to get better and we're going to find ways to be successful, and we're going to work and we're going to work and we're going to work and then we're going to work some more. And we have to have that mentality. We have to not be satisfied with where we're at. We got to push ourselves to get better. We have to take it upon ourselves. What are we doing to reach our potential? Are we working hard enough? Probably not. I think everybody can work harder, both individually and as a team, as a staff. And we're going to do that. And you got to honor the process. You got to honor the process. This is a very, very difficult league to win in. We're finding that out. And so you must honor the process with your approach to the day-to-day activities. And that's what we have to continue to do. And our guys got to be hungry to get better. And it's going to be a highly competitive environment. And you got to be ready to work. So, it's a great opportunity for us to build character. Gramps always said, you get a chance, as you learn, you're building character the whole way. It's all about building character throughout the whole process. And at the end of the day, you'll be ready to go.
Also, guys, what status on Vessel? Is he going to be all right?
Yeah, I think we might have a couple injuries this weekend with potentially Jake Randolph and Tyler Vessel. So we'll see what shakes down.
Yeah, it is. It's always it's always kind of a curveball at the beginning of the season. It always seems like something's going on that's out of the ordinary. But it'll be good to get a little break from the NCHC. Hopefully we can just kind of regroup and really come out strong when we play St. Cloud. But obviously all eyes on Northern Michigan this weekend. Yeah.
What was the takeaway out of this weekend?
We knew they were a good team going into it. That's the NCHC. It's every team's good. I think in the top 5 there's 3 NCHC teams. So, it's one of the things that we needed to look forward to is Saturday night. I think we had a lot more energy than we did Friday night, and we need to come out like that every weekend, no matter who we're playing. And just some things that Coach talked about too is just net front presence. Work the puck high to low or low to high, and then get shots on net. And I think that'll help us out a lot more.
I think the thing that's standing out recently is just the number of high-scoring games you played, the amount you've given up, and how many chances you're getting down at the other end. You deal with that all the time and everything like that. I guess what's your assessment of where things are at, and ideally, how do you get to the point where you're not giving up 4 a night, maybe you're giving up 2?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to having pride in blocking shots, helping out our goaltender, clearing pucks. I think our penalty kill's been doing well, but I think we can be better at it. You can always be better at it, I think that's a big thing too. It's just just being better at the little things. That's what Coach harps on a lot, is just be better at the basics, be the best at the basics every day. So that's the clearing pucks, getting in front of shots like that, helping out Winnie and Oldie or whoever's in that. So
Mason, Coach was talking about just the number of having a lot of grade A chances, but not being able to capitalize on them. And you guys went like a stretch of nearly 2 games in the Colorado College series and the opener the other night without a goal. What's it like as an offensive player when you feel like you're getting those chances, but yet you're not seeing any success on that?
Yeah,
how's that wear on you?
Yeah, it's for sure really frustrating. You start to worry when you don't get the chances. So when we're getting the chances, it's good to see, but we gotta, that's not good enough. Especially when like Jalen said, you're playing top 5 teams, and it's tough. Like you just getting the chances doesn't mean you're going to score, especially with all the goalies they have. Every goalie is really good. So when you get those chances, you just gotta bear down and be hard on yourself mentally and physically, and just figure out how to put the puck in the net. Like Gabs always preaches on us in practice, to bury your rebounds in every drill, and just get used to scoring. Because in a game, if you have that chance and you miss, it starts in practice, probably because you missed it in practice. It's just working the little things night and day, and thinking about them, and being hard on yourself, because it's not easy. Like Jalen said, it's hard. It's a really good conference, but that's how we want it. We want to play against good teams. That's how you get better, and that's how you test yourself. So this week we'll not even this week, but just going forward, we'll be really hard on ourselves on the little details, and just really prepare for the battles that are to come.
When you're mentioning playing good teams, is it good that when you're stepping out of conference, you're playing a team that's having some success early in the season? It's not like no one's going to be a pushover this weekend. Is it good that the test will continue to come even outside of the league?
yeah, I think so. It's good to play the good out of conference teams, like we played against Notre Dame, Big Ten. But when they go out and play other out of conference teams, it helps us in the pairwise as well. So that's why the out of conference games are almost just as important, if not more important. They're gonna play better teams as well, and good teams, and out of conference as well. So it helps us a lot if we can win those games.
This is the time of the year where injuries start to set in, and we were just asking Gabby about the situation this week. I guess how crucial is it for you guys who've been in the system obviously for a while to just have guys continually step up if somebody's got to be out, especially in situations like this?
Yeah, for sure. I think every guy in the locker room is willing to put their heart and soul on the line. So I don't think that's a question at all. But hopefully the injuries stop. It's tough when you have 60 and you don't have anyone to put in if someone else gets hurt, or like Vest got a little shot to the head there at the end of the game on Saturday. So hopefully he's okay and ready to go this weekend. But injuries are tough, and it's every night's a war. So you want to play hard, but you want to make sure it's clean, and not saying that Western wasn't clean. They were just fine, but hopefully injuries are not a problem, because that can really hurt a team.
Is it going to be weird to have that home atmosphere around you because you've been so used to something else, especially when you get the taste on the far end of the spectrum like Western is? That's kind of unlike place else, but.
Yeah, the Austin Lunatics are for sure. They live up to their name, that's no doubt. But it's going to be great to have the support of the fans here, and have the energy in this building, and we're all looking forward to it. So it's going to be good to be at home for a while.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, yeah, I'm just excited to be back home. It's always fun being on the road. Being in the hotels on the road, and just away arenas are always fun to play in, but it's always nice to just be home.